welcome. Happy Monday afternoon, January 25th, 2021. Hard to believe we're here.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. We're about to get the music off in a second here. Let me see if I can get this thing turned down. But we're welcome to 3 bald speakers. And as you notice, there's only 2 bald speakers because I think we got deserted by one of our bald speakers. He's out on the left coast, west somewhere there, and he said that they're having problems with the weather. I don't believe him. I think he made it up. I think he ditched us, Ramon. What's going on, man?
He said, yeah, Robert, he said, and I'm just going to give him the prop to read his bio here, Robert, just a bit. I know he'll join us if he can, when he can, but I'm reading his bio. It says, Frank Kitchen uses his mind to break barriers. He's hungry for dreams, it says. No, I'm reading it wrong. Oh, empower leaders. Now, Frank Kitchen, ladies and gentlemen, empower entrepreneur leaders to break through the mental and physical barriers that prevent them from living the dreams they hunger for. So definitely check out our co-host, Frank Kitchen, FrankKitchen.com, in case he can't be with us today. But no, Robert, I'm blessed. I'm doing good, man. Excited to talk to you on the show today. I know you have a lot on my mind, and I appreciate you being able to touch the dials and co-host the show and tell jokes at the same time. That's a triple threat.
I don't know about the jokes, man. I'm gonna leave those to you today. My mind is kind of, I'm a guy. We're not built to multitask.
I got you on that for sure.
Yeah, man. So let's jump in. I think the biggest thing, if we're going to talk about life, laughter, and lollipops here, the biggest thing that's happening in our country right now is we've just witnessed a transfer of power. And so we're not getting political. We're not talking left, right, conservative, not Democrat, Republican, independent, green, blue, XYZ, LMNOP. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're just talking about, what's happening in your world, or what may be difference happening in your world as a result of, the new president being in.
Absolutely, Robert. And I think for me, and I will get a little political, but I want you to hold up your hand when I'm going too far. Go like this to me. Go like this. I'll watch your hand, and then I'll know.
There we go.
But what I mean to say is that, just to touch on a little bit, which again, I'll probably be flamed for what I'm about to say right now. That's okay. But I guess my point being, I am so blessed and happy that we are able to do this. We had a contentious, I think it's the word, election, give or take a few million. Half people did vote for President Trump. Half people did vote for President Biden, give or take. He won. President Biden won the election. But what I'm trying to get at, it's amazing to me to see that we can have such rancor, such divisiveness, such issues, such polarization. And guess what? Things still came together. And notwithstanding, Frank, Robert, even what happened at the Capitol, again, it is what it is. It shouldn't have happened. But notwithstanding even that, our country's still together. I'm sure you know people from other countries. If this would have been anywhere else, dude, I don't care where you were in America. It would have been we would have been running. We'd have been in our bunkers right now. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to add to that. Even no matter what happened, a transfer happened.
Yeah. I think about, as you talk about that, I think about some of the things that I've seen or that we've seen in our lifetime. I had friends who are from Haiti. And when their stuff happened, it was like mayhem, crazy, all sorts of stuff. I think about even in Iraq with the whole, Saddam Hussein, and even how he came to power in the first place. Right, which is funded by U.S., but that's another story. So
be careful, Frank.
So it's but you're right. So all of the stuff has happened, and we still are at this place where the process that we've put in place, is still there, and at this point, it's worked, and we have seen this transfer take place now. Right, left, up, down, diagonal. The president's now got to do his job, right? And we'll see how that turns out. So, And
I think you did ask. I will touch that. How does it affect businesses? I think in the higher level of things, even though people may not agree with me, I don't think it will greatly affect many small businesses. There's social issues. The very poor may be helped or not helped, all those issues. But let's talk about me and you, speakers and entrepreneurs. I think what the federal government does in general at the highest level, day-to-day our businesses, I don't think, Frank, but if you disagree, feel free. I'd love to hear your opinion. I don't think it'll affect us that much. There's going to be COVID happening. There's going to be taxes higher or taxes lower, minimum wage higher, minimum wage lower, whatever may be going on those things. But I think for the average one or two person business that's making a few $100,000 to 1 or 2 million a year, you know what, Robert? I think we're going to coast along, relatively speaking. Jane, thanks for being here. Okay. I think we're going to roll and be good. So, by the way, keep the comments coming. By the way, we're going to keep Robert busy. He would have nothing else to do if y'all weren't commenting. So please keep the comments coming along. But that's what I think, Robert.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook today. I don't know if you had a chance to kind of share this out. I believe it's on my profile, my page. So go ahead and share that if you can. So yeah, this is an amazing season as far as my personal business has been concerned. The things that the government does affects us as individuals, and it does affect us as business owners. However, that said, I have also you broke it. That said, I've also developed the mindset that, no matter who's there, I still have to live. My goal as a dad, my goal as a business owner, my goal as a person is to, fight against injustice, fight against what's wrong, fight against what's clearly meant to hurt other people, but I still have to provide. So whoever's there, I've still got to figure out what I need to do to grow business, to continue moving on. And I can't be in a place where I'm like, you know what, this person's in office, so I'm going to stay in the corner. I'm going to blame. I'm going to point fingers.
Right? Yeah. Right. You have to grow up over it, get out of it, not let it stop you from behind. And Robert, I want you to say 1 or 2 more smart things so I can start typing and sharing this out to millions of people.
Smart things. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't do those. So speaking of smart things, I'll say this. My daughter is about to go to college.
Nice.
And we're at the place where we're having a lot of different discussions. My wife and I were literally lying in bed the other day, and just based on some of the conversations that me and my daughter have to have, like around boys, driving, scholarships, and how to protect yourself and those types of things. I said to my wife, I said, wow, we're here. We're literally here. And I look back at just the process of her growing from, birth to now, and remembering all of the different stages that she has gone through, and us having to adjust our parenting and adjust our styles based on where she is. And so, I liken that to the same thing that's going on with our country. We're growing, we're at different places, and so based on where we are, based on what's going on, based on the maturity level, based on the experiences, we've got to adjust.
Yes.
Right? We've got to just, Colin says, do I have to shake my head to join in the conversation?
You know what?
You don't.
I want to cut you off before you answer, Robert, because I don't know if you're going to say yes or no, but I think so, Robert. I think, in my opinion, if someone's going to watch 3 bald speakers, male or female, I think it's not appropriate. It's insensitive, I would say, Robert, for them to watch without taking out a pair of shears and shaving their head. So, Colin, my brother, I think like the audio quality. See, this is what I'm saying. See,
Come on, Colin, we got you.
Colin, you are too much.
Yeah.
But I wanted to touch on what you said, Robert. I think you're so true, man. Seasons. And talking about daughters here, I have a daughter as well. She's my adult daughter. I don't know how old yours is, but my daughter's above the age of 20. And it's in seasons, man. And I can remember when she was a little girl. I remember, Robert, when we stopped doing horseback rides.
Wow.
I remember. I was like, you want to ride on my back? You got that look like, you know what? Maybe not today. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this thing is crazy, man. So let's. I know we have a few topics that we kind of wanted to run through. So we've got the transfer of power, but what happened last week also, I mean, and this kind of relates to the transfer of power, was Martin Luther King Day was last week. And I don't know, does it feel, considering what's going on in our country right now, does it feel different? Does Martin Luther King Day feel different, more significant, less significant, the same, not, you don't even know? I mean, how does it feel to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think everything is in circles and niches, as it were. So I think for some of the community, and black or white, it goes over the day. People have to remind you that, hey, this is an important holiday. That's one. I think point two, talking about the broader message, Robert, I think that it's amazing that what he was able to accomplish, Gandhi, of course, there's evil people too, but let's stick to the good people, to bring masses of people together to create movement and pressure, Robert. You and I are in the digital age. Yeah. These brothers and sisters did it with no Twitter. No, I'm streaming. I'm using Ecamm. I'm using none of it. So my point, I think that speaks to the power of words and the power of leadership. Jesus did it, right? To transform. So I think when I think of it, but to answer the point in contemporary time, I think it's beautiful. And I think he should always be remembered by everyone that no matter, again, what people feel about the race relations today, I personally, knowing that my mother grew up in a place where it explicitly said whites only, blacks only, we've come a long way. So that's the positivity I choose. Others may think different, but for me, I'm choosing to look, we've come a long way. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think over the last year or two, it's really begun to hit me, the sacrifices that he had to live through, and not just him, but his entire family. I mean, I was watching this movie One Night in Miami the other day, a little piece of it. That was the one with where supposedly Malcolm, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and who was the other one?
I can't remember offhand. I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah. So supposedly they met up in Miami, but the question that I was asking, as I consider the lives of leaders like Malcolm and Martin, is, in order to do that, what is it that you have to be willing to give up?
Jim Brown, by the way.
Jim Brown, yeah. So I mean, I think about like me, and I wonder, could I have been Martin? Could I have done the things that Martin did? Because you don't want injustice. Yeah, you don't want people that are like you to be treated a certain way. Yeah, you want equality for everyone. But when a bomb is thrown into your house, when a Molotov cocktail is thrown into your house, somebody's saying there's distracting feedback sound. So I don't know.
It sounds good on me. On my end, it sounds good.
Okay, do me a favor. Mute your mic for a second. All right. Is there... Okay.
I can't mute it. I'm on my phone.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I can mute you for a second here. Let me see if I can mute Ramon. So I'm just muting you for... You're mad that I muted you. Yeah, okay. So yeah, when I mute you, okay, so yeah, I think there's feedback coming through, and maybe you have your sound coming through the speakers of your phone. That's probably it. So we probably need earbuds or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I think about all of those things, and I'm like, when those bottles come through the window, right? And my family is now in danger. What becomes important at that point? Do I say, yeah, the movement? Are you frozen? Did I lose you? I think okay, there you go. Okay, let's make sure. I unmuted you.
No, I heard what you said. Yeah, no, it's just I can't. And if the static is a lot, let me know, because I can't even get ahead. Oh, you know what? One second.
No worries.
Backup plan.
Wired headset.
But you were on a good roll, Robert. You were like preaching, man. You had like...
I was preaching. I was preaching, man. I was preaching. Hold on one second. I was preaching. Hold on. We gotta do the...
Hey, And Robert, let me make sure you can still hear me. Can you hear me okay now? Can you hear me still?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. So there's no echo now. I have it plugged in. Continue on. You were talking about, are you willing to make the sacrifice when things happen? Go ahead.
Yeah. So when the Molotov cocktail comes in your front window and you have your daughters, your sons, your wife threatened, like their lives threatened. I mean, as a man, as a dad, one of my jobs is to not just provide, but be, in my mind, the protector as well. Right. So when all of that stuff happens, are you now willing to say, you know what, I got to stick to it for the movement?
No, and I'm telling you, Robert, that's talking about conviction. You're right. If you don't have that conviction, I think about in the 1940s, right, with the Jews and Gestapo and Nazi Germany and other places like this. Yeah. I mean, we watch the movies, we eating popcorn. We watch Harriet Tubman. We sitting back. Oh, hold on 1 second. I got to go get a soda. But this was real life. This was not, there was no music playing, no credit. So, Robert, I asked myself the question, Martin Luther King, could I have done it? Would I have said, for the sake of Robert's freedom and et cetera, I may have said, nah, you know what? Take Robert away. I'll be quiet. Just take him away. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I look at myself and I don't know that I could have done it. I don't know that I could have done it because, I mean, literally, if somebody came to me now, or somebody's like on my front lawn and was like, I'm going to try to threaten my daughter, dude, I would go to jail. Yeah. Right. I would go, no heartbeat. I would go to jail.
That's right.
Right. But, and in some ways that may be the same thing. But I mean, I kind of say, there's your house is bombed, your house is blown up. And to continue, and then to have a wife or family that says, yes, our life is in danger, continue on. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's deep, Robert. And I think that goes to, is it conviction or is it a convenience? Is it conviction or is it something you just want to do momentarily? Which again, that's why the world is made up of, whether it's made up of rich and poor, leaders or not, greatness or not, average people who transcend. Sacrifices all over. So this is life. So, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's huge, man. So let's kind of transition. We're three bald speakers. We're two today.
That's right. Three bald speakers. Robert Kennedy, the third, amazing motivational coach, speaker, communicator, and more. Frank Kitchen, mindset coach, gets people unstuck. You can just Google him or look him up at Frank Kitchen. And Ramon Ray. I don't know why I said Ramon. I'm not even Hispanic, but it just sounded cool at the time. Speaker and author. I want the recording of this. I'm gonna put it on my alarm.
I love it.
And again, keep the comments coming, everybody. Those who are listening, keep the comments coming, and please do share this. What are we going to talk about next, Robert? I know we had a big talking about leadership and talking about transfer of power, quote unquote. There was another big transfer of power that happened.
Oh, before we get into that, Ramon just talked a little bit about Frank and myself. I think you kind of blew by Smart Hustle Nation, though. Yeah, I think you might have mentioned it. Ramon is the CEO. He's the founder of Smart Hustle Nation. Y'all got to go follow Ramon because he is an amazing speaker, and not only an amazing speaker, but he's an amazing connector. Right, his media company connects with some of the most amazing people. So you've got to follow him. Sharon Washington says, I spoke in Florida at one of his conferences. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? So glad that you could join us. Those of you that are in the comments, make sure somebody said my mic is low. So let me check my microphone.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what gets me upset. Robert Kennedy was accusing me of messing up the whole system, accusing me of having static because I'm an Android. He's a hater of that because I have a PC. And now we see that it's his mic. See, that's causing the problems. Look at how things go.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Boy. See, there's people in the comments that are y'all are messing me up. Okay. Sharon says your personality is infectious. Absolutely, Sharon. That's like my very first conversation with Ramon. Number one, I had energy infusion. It was like somebody gave me a B12 vitamin shot immediately, sprinkled with some caffeine or something like that. I was like, this dude, I gotta get to know this guy. This guy's amazing. Yeah.
Which is why amazing people stick together, man. An honor to do this show with you, for sure. But thank you, Sharon. Thanks for those listening. And listen, keep the comments coming even afterwards. Keep them coming so we can know how to best serve you. We're just three guys having fun, but we're able to provide inspiration, hope to help you, and a bit of vulnerability. We don't have it all together. Well, Frank probably does, but we don't have it all together, and we need help. So we're here to be in that journey with you. We can talk about Frank because he's not here right now. He can't respond to us, so we can just talk about him.
We could tell everybody that Frank is a fake bald guy. He's not really bald. He's got no.
When he pulls it off, the whole afro comes out when he pulls it off.
Listen, love it. So you're talking about transfer of power, man. So for those of you who are in the speaking industry, so we're going live. We're doing this show live today on Ecamm Live is the software or the application that we are using. But over the last year, live streaming has become huge. Right? Live streaming has become this big thing. And there are a lot of people, not only live streamers. So when we said live streaming is becoming huge, before anybody that live streamed, you were a YouTuber maybe, or you were a conference organizer that just happened to want to share stuff live. But now organizations, companies, big companies, small companies are using video, are using live streaming as a way to transmit information. And one of the platforms that we have used, that I've used, I mean, I don't know about you, Frank, but one of the platforms that I've used is one called Streamyard, right? Because that allows me to go from my home to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to, I was going to say Instagram, but not Instagram, to Periscope, to Facebook. How could I forget Facebook? Why is that? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So Facebook and all of those things at the same time. And now Streamyard just got purchased by a larger company called Hopin. Right? I came across Hopin, Hopin.to is the website. I came across Hopin because I was invited to an event last year, and it was this event, and when I came in, they were talking about not just the waiting room, they were talking about the foyer or the lobby, and then they had different exhibitors presenting at different booths, just like a real conference. And I said, whoa. This thing is official. This thing is serious, and you could jump in and out of different conferences. So tell me a little bit about your experience with like Hopin and how this transition or this power transfer. What does this mean?
And to add one more element to that, Robert, I know for me, the reason why I use StreamYard as well, again, all that you said is correct. And I think the added thing is that it makes, you are an expert broadcaster, just some demarcation here. Robert does this. He has all the tools and all this. I do a little bit of it. But my point is that it made me look better. Like StreamYard has built in a little bit of the nice imagery. You can see our names in the white boxes and all that. StreamYard beyond just Zoom. It makes you look cool, like a mini broadcaster. So that's for me the second reason why I use it as well. But so here's the thing. I think that for those listening, for the newer people and those who are experienced, maybe we can help a little bit here. StreamYard, as Frank said, as Robert said, streaming. Got that. Robert said that. Hopin has all the features and tools to have breakouts, exhibits, green room, not on stage yet, Q&A and all that. So I think, Robert, it was a perfect marriage because StreamYard was good for what it did, but it didn't have the things that Hopin had. My opinion, StreamYard was kind of the default. Besides Ecamm, was the default streaming platform. Hopin didn't have that. So this marriage now means StreamYard can have now some Q&A and back office and all that in due time, I'm sure. And Hopin leverages the StreamYard name. So I like them both. I found Hopin, Robert, to be a slight bit complicated at first use. At first blush, I found it was a bit techie, but after you're in, you get it because there are so many buttons. So I like it. And I hope that Hopin learns from the StreamYard team the simplicity. And I hope the StreamYard team can have a little bit of bigger boy, bigger girl features in StreamYard, if that makes sense. And I hope they don't kill one. That's what I hope. I hope they don't say, hey, StreamYard's closed now, use Hopin. That's what I hope.
Well, I mean, and they're different. I mean, so when the purchase first happened, I wondered why. And I wasn't sure. I didn't initially see it, but then I kind of saw, you got a multi-streaming platform here now. Hopin, which is, they're an event platform, but they didn't have the streaming piece. Now, event producers, speakers, people who are maybe business owners that want to go larger can utilize Hopin and now multi-stream their events to so many different places. It's almost like that, Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve deal where you've got, people in different places and you can just mass produce this large virtual event. And there are a lot of people that are doing that now. There's this company, I interviewed this guy the other day. His name is Blue Melnick. And he and his wife, Barry Bumgarner, they run Sage Events. And
wait a minute, but Robert, you got to say those names again. I'm sorry, Robert. Blue Melnick and Mary Bumgarner, nice people, but it's just the names.
Barry,
interesting.
Yeah, Barry Bumgarner. Yeah, they are the owners of Sage Events. So I bring that up because last year, in the midst of the pandemic, Tony Robbins did this event. And they're the masterminds behind like that. So you remember that event Tony Robbins did? It was all virtual, and he had and everybody said it was Zoom windows, but he had literally thousands of people on monitors in a circle around him. And he was, interacting and speaking to people individually during that event. So I bring that up because I'm like, wow, we thought of things previously as very separate.
Yes.
Right. We said, oh, live events are gone. We're not able to do live events now. And then we got to virtual, and some people thought it was just virtual, and they didn't put in certain effort into it because they're like, yeah, we're only going to be here for like 5 months, or we're only going to be here for a few months doing this. We're going to be back at live events soon. And here we are a year later. And we're still kind of like, oh my gosh, they're kind of rolling out some vaccine stuff, but we're not going to be back at full live events at least for another 8 months or so. And I might be underestimating. So, now we've got to start thinking about everything from an event perspective in a hybrid way.
Yeah, you're right.
As speakers, as business owners, as people that are looking to get our message out.
Yeah,
I've got to now think of things very differently, and I can't just assume, yep, it's going to be this way, or what's the coming new normal, next normal, whatever you want to say. Now, my world, even when we get back to the place of it's acceptable to do in-person events, hybrid events, or the virtual piece of it is now going to be a piece of that, and people are going to request it because they're like, well, what do you mean? I don't have to fly there. I don't have to pay $1,500 for my ticket. And the registration for the conference. Where's my virtual option, please?
That's right. And Robert, to your point, we are all trained in that way. Because think about it, Robert. You go to an event, you've been going there 2 or 3 years in a row, right? Paying $500 for the event, flying, 3-day conference. And it's okay. It's a nice event. But now next year when it comes around, even if it's all safe, Robert, like me, is probably going to be thinking, you know what? Yeah, 2 of the speakers I've been seeing, all I wanted to see, other guy I met on LinkedIn. Yeah. I can go play more ball with my kids or something like that. So I think for me, the other thing I did, there's a major event happening. Well, I'll just say it. Dave Ramsey has a big Entree Leadership Summit. It's going all virtual now. Robert, I'm trying to connect with some New York area people if they want to do it safely and say, why don't we, just New York area, Dave Ramsey fans, meet together? We'll all buy tickets. I want to give them the due money, but let's just meet on our own, 10 of us, 15 of us, 20 of us, and chat together, network around a common, it could be around cookies, it could be Boy Scouts, but it happens to be Dave Ramsey's brand. So that's what I just did because his event's going online. But I'm like, wait a minute. He has thousands of people, has to be a few hundred in just New York, New Jersey. Why do we all meet up? So that's one thing I'm trying too. If they want to meet safely, we'll see.
Yeah. So we kind of have had this in some other form previously. So there's this company called LeaderCast. And they do this big event every year where they bring in like all these big name speakers and leaders. I mean, they've had like John Maxwell, Peyton Manning, they've, a lot of people. And what they do is companies buy a license to be able to simulcast the leadership event at their locations around the country. The difference is that they were only speaking to the people in the room. Now, with the hybrid events, you've got to now acknowledge the people in LA, the people in New York, the people in Savannah, Georgia, the people in Houston, Texas, because we paid the same amount. We need to be acknowledged in the same way. I need to be able to know that you're talking to me. I need to be able to ask my questions. I need to be able to feel like I'm a part of this event. So, I bring that up because, as speakers, as business owners, I've got to start paying attention and thinking about things in a certain way now, because that's just where we're headed. And I got to be ahead of the game. I can't be reactive. I can't be reactive in my pricing, in my thought process about what I deliver to an audience or I deliver to a client. I've got to be able to be an expert in some ways, or know what the possibilities are for delivery, so that I can then do my job in a way that still blows my clients away.
And that's the key, Robert. You're right. And I think that we as speakers, it's our job as hosts, as MCs, we have to be able to talk to the masses, the room, and say, hey, and Jenny, you too. So I think that, to your point, it's a new world, and it excites me. I don't know. I think some people, Robert, they may be a little nervous. There's different. There's the attendees. There's us there's the producer. I'm not a producer, but the producers like yourself. There's then us as talent, which I know you are as well as talent. Then there's the brands we work with. So there's this spectrum of people that I think have to get on board, because the train's moving. Dr. Fauci's not going to, open up America for the foreseeable future. So the train is moving forward, and we have to be ready for it, for sure.
Wait, so 1 second. I just thought of something. You mentioned Dr. Fauci, but my mind went somewhere else.
Okay.
I got to ask this. What are you thinking about all of these Bernie Sanders memes, man?
I love it, man. In fact, by the time my team gets around to get one from me, it's going to be too late. It's hilarious, man. I wonder who's the first one who came with that, but it's genius. It's just... Yeah. It's hilarious. It's just hilarious. Bernie's he is such a caricature in a respectful way. He's just his look, his hair is tousled, the Vermont accent, he just and it's funny because I bet if he was like fly and dressed up like me and you would be, nobody paid attention. But this old man, respectfully, in a LL Bean type, I forgot the brand it was, and some mittens. It just was. It wasn't like Lady Gaga look. Put it that way, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, you know what I loved about it, man? It was like there's this inauguration, and Michelle Obama's fly. Jill Biden's decked out. Lady Gaga's this way. And Hillary Clinton.
The poet.
The poet. Yeah.
Oh, the yellow jacket and the hair.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Everybody put in a little bit of work, and here's the thing, and here's why I loved it, because we as speakers, we as people who are inspirers or motivators, we often tell people, listen, don't compare yourself to everybody else. Don't look at the people that are 10 years ahead and then get mad because your stuff doesn't look like theirs. But yet, here's this big event, this seminal event for our country. And there's this dude, Bernie Sanders. He's like, listen.
I want to be warm.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in my chair. I'm just trying to keep warm. Y'all can go ahead and try to look sexy. My hands get cold really quickly.
So let's admit it, Robert. When you want to look fly, it's hard to be fly and bundled. I mean, you're gonna be a little cold, especially our ladies, right? They got the heels, the stockings, the skirts, the nice fitted jacket. Yeah. You can't wear a parka with that, and there's only so much room you got to look.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, man. It is. I'm laughing because even in my church, people are putting together these memes with like our pastors on the pulpit and Bernie's on the platform.
That's funny.
Looking like,
That's funny.
I'm not impressed by your sermon, Pastor.
You got a pastor with a good sense of humor.
Listen. This is a good time. This is a good time.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick Allman in the house. What's happening, Patrick?
Oh, wow, Patrick. Oh, man, Patrick, thanks for being here, man. You belong here in the Three Bald Speakers too. But listen, thanks for being here supporting. Always good to see your beautiful smile. Patrick is a ninja of ninjas of a lot of stuff.
Patrick, if Patrick wants to come in, we could bring Patrick in. Frank just texted me not too long ago. If you want to come in and holler with us for a little bit, Patrick, just go to rk3.live. All right, go to rk3.live and you can come hang with the bald speakers, because Patrick is bald, so you get to hang for a moment. All right, so Frank said his power went out, and he said it's pretty bad. and we can talk about him and make fun of him all we want about how he didn't pay his electric bill. Oh no!
Oh, I thought it was because his wood oven. He didn't have enough wood in the oven to get the generator, the steam engine running. That's what I thought it was.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Wow. Man. So let me ask you this. So as we've been talking about New Year, we've been talking about transitions. We've been talking about people kind of looking to be better. And one of the things that we see a lot of, and that admittedly I do from time to time, is not even time to time, I'm literally doing one this week, is challenges. What are your thoughts about challenges?
Pardon me for coughing in the mic. I'll say a few things here, and I can't wait to hear your input because I know what your input is. Yeah. I've never been a challenge guy, Robert. I don't know. Maybe because I don't like commitment. Maybe because when I hear somebody say like contract or do this 20 times in a row every day, it just scares me. I get nervous. So for me, and I must say, to the point, I think the methodology, the end result may be the same, and you can help me unpack this better. But I have followed, to go on a side tangent, Jim Collins' flywheel. Yeah. So for me, I've stuck to that methodology, but a challenge, no, Robert. I haven't been a challenge guy, but possibly because I haven't heard someone like you explain why they're so good and why they like them. To me, I see so many of them like, hey, join my challenge, drink a cup of coffee once a day and we'll all be better. I don't know. It's just, but what do you tell us about it? Why challenge is so good? Why do you like it?
So before we go into that, can you unpack Jim Collins' flywheel a little bit more for us?
Yes, happy to. And I just want to say, I just unplugged my headphone, but Jim Collins' flywheel, I just want to show it because it has helped me quite a bit. It's a mimeograph. I think he calls it a monograph. Jim Collins' flywheel. It's part of his book, Good to Great. I think he's the author of that. Bottom line with the flywheel is to focus on the following. And again, this has helped me so much in my business. I must say, Robert, I'll just say publicly, we're 30% more revenue last year in a pandemic. And I'm not saying it's all the flywheel, but I'm sure this is one of the tools that have helped me. So here's the bottom line. Flywheel is what is the core of your business with how it ticks. That's it. Let's look at Nike as an example. Nike designs an expensive shoe with their research. They get an amazing celebrity latch onto it. They sell the shoe at a premium. The price drops and they do it again. Something like that, as it were. So for me, I've been pretty clear on what is our flywheel at Smart Hustle. What do we have to do over and over again to generate business? So thanks for letting me share that. But that's the summary of the concept of flywheel. And I've tried to embrace that. EOS and other things are important, but my little brain can only do so much.
Yeah. So Patrick, my initials, RK3.live, .live. All right, RK3.live, and you can kind of come in the back door here, and we'll let you in. So challenges. So now there are, when I first heard of the concept of challenges, like you, that I jumped in first when they were like, let's create visibility to remember our veterans. So let's do that, the 22 push-up challenge, and then of course you got. The other one, the dance challenge. And then you had the, what was it? The greens, beans, potatoes, whatever.
My favorite.
You had that challenge. But then I've also been seeing there's a lot of these other post your son challenge, post your daughter challenge. And then there was the ice bucket challenge, of course, which was for a good cause. And so there are all these challenges where it's like you've got to do something in order, and you got to hold on. Let me.
No problem. Take your time.
Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy?
Oh, wow! Looking fly. Love that background.
Let me change the name of this gentleman here so people don't think he is. There we go. Perfect.
And Patrick, you look 10 years younger, man. That's a compliment to you, brother. Look nice. Let me go back.
I'm doing way too much. Getting like 2 audio streams here. I got to figure out how to mute one of these.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you look at the lower left of your screen and hit the mute, just the lower left. Yep. Move your finger there. Yep. There you go. Hit mute and then raise that. And
Patrick knows listening to Ramon.
I'm trolling him so he can find time.
Yeah. So so while he's figuring that out, so I saw all of these different challenges, and it was overwhelming in some ways, right? Oh boy, Frank is back. And now Frank's like, I'm trying to claim my spot. Hold on 1 second. All right, so Frank is in the green room. So when he comes in, I'll let him in just a moment.
No, go ahead and let Frank come in. I'm gonna drop off.
No, you're good. You're good. This is fine. You are our guest for right now. That's good. We'll be fine.
You talking to a ninja here, Patrick, who can multitask. He can go in and out, bring people in and out. If you say anything wrong, Patrick, he'll just beep you. There's a 47-second delay. Nice. Don't worry about it. Robert got it, man. Robert got it.
I had the live stream up on another tab. That was the problem. I had to kill the other tab with the live stream up. I'm good
Perfect.
now.
We're at 3 bald speakers. Robert Kennedy, Frank Kitchen is going to come on in a minute. I'm Ramon Ray. We have a special guest today, Patrick Almond, who's a marketer, etc. Robert's been trying his best to talk to us about challenges. But we have some positive things here. Frank, welcome. And Robert, just so you know, there is one more blank screen up there, but you probably know that already because you know what you're doing.
I'm blank. Cool. I'm blank right now, but yeah, I'll figure that out in a second here. But hold on, let me see if I can swap this.
Frank, how you been, man? Ooh, that looks nice. Wow,
good,
perfect.
Did we start already or?
No, we've been waiting for you. No, we've 41 minutes. We've been just sitting here waiting. Silence.
Right, so I did have the correct time.
You did.
Oh yeah.
So
challenge. We had an hour of prep time.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. So challenges. So here's what I discovered about the challenges. What I kind of saw a few people doing that really was good for me was I didn't think about a challenge as the opportunity to have people do something over and over each day. I thought about it as the opportunity to learn something new and maybe up level where you are in something. So, for example, I'm doing a challenge now, which I'm calling the live stream confidence challenge. Okay, and it's 5 days. And it is, we're teaching something new every day. So what it is once you do one thing, once we teach something, you do it. We'll add something else to that, you do it. And so it's just about, getting some practice in that as opposed to it being this thing where, let me do 22 push-ups every day for, the rest of the week.
Got it. Love it. So listen, Robert, we got our host here. We got a special guest here. We got 4 of us here. Robert or Frank, why don't y'all take the reins? Let's bring Patrick in. Frank, you need to talk more. I'm just going to observe a little bit here to give some space for my 2 amazing other brothers here. Robert, take it how you want, man, or Frank.
Well, Frank, actually, since Patrick's here, Patrick, what are your thoughts about challenges? We just kind of, we've navigated through a whole bunch of topics here. And I know Patrick's a very, I'm going to use the word outspoken. Patrick has some thoughts on things. Yeah, Patrick has some thoughts. So what are your thoughts about, all of the proliferation of challenges?
I think in life, I think one of the reasons that at least that I find challenges interesting is that I've always understood the philosophy that if you're kind of floating or maintaining, you're actually kind of going backwards. And we always need something bigger to strive for. Right now I'm on a month-long challenge, a nutrition challenge with my gym to lose, more weight in January. And I love the idea of a challenge, but I want to make sure that whenever I encounter a challenge, whenever I see a new challenge, I want to make sure that there's something on the other side. It's not just do the push-ups for a month or whatever, and then what? There needs to be kind of something on the other side of it. Same thing like when I think of stuff a lot of times in terms of marketing. I always like to make sure that after a marketing campaign, there's another marketing campaign going on after that. So that's what I think about when it comes to challenges, and I'd be curious about Frank's opinion here. But I just always see it as I use challenges as a way to avoid me from being always in the exact same place. I just don't want to be in the exact same place every single day or every single week. What do you think about that, Frank?
I like what you're saying there about the challenges because they do hold us accountable. But as you said, most of them are for a short period of time. And I think about people who go on these nutrition and diets and they do it for a week. Like, oh yeah, I changed for a week, but then they go back to the old habits. So it doesn't create this lifelong lifestyle change. So with the challenge, I think it's the case of saying, hey, we're going to do this week-long challenge to prove to you what you're capable of, but now it's up to you to keep it going. And it's the further education of what the challenge is meant for, because some people are like, oh, it's just the challenge to get ready for my wedding or getting this dress or to make some finances. And it's like, oh, good. But then what's the long-term effect of it? If you don't keep going, then I think the challenge is a waste.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you did it for a little bit, you proved it to yourself, and then you moved on to the next shiny object. You know, you have to, if you're going to accept a challenge, I think it's a case of you are accepting the challenge, but you're also accepting to keep it going for a long period of time.
Yeah. So is that something that all of us should leverage in business? Is that, you know, something that we should all look at, how we can incorporate that for lead generation, for customers? I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
Ramon, why don't you go? Oh,
Yeah,
Frank,
no,
I'm sorry, go.
Oh, go ahead, Frank.
No, Ramon can go. I was just clearing my throat.
Let me clear my, old school.
Were you sure, Frank, you really clear your throat? Like when I finish, you're not going to slash my tires or something?
Nah, well, you're too far away, so I can't come get you.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was make sure. No, listen, I think
we're about the tickets, so, and I don't want to mess with your car, man. You already had enough problem with the car with those tickets.
No, but listen, we should all get better for sure. Bottom line, we should all get better. And I think whether it's called a challenge or something else, for sure, as I was saying, Robert, before, the other gentleman got on, turning the flywheel. It's not a challenge, but I'm trying to do better. I'm reading books. I'm trying to better myself. And some people get motivated differently, right? Some people need that challenge or like it. Me, I'm just not a gamification type person. It's just not me. I'm more of a self-motivator, if it makes sense. So, but everybody has their thing that works for them. So some people like challenges. I'm the kind of guy at the event, these people, let's be quiet. Let's breathe deep and think within ourselves. I'm the guy who's out. I can't think. I can't breathe deep within myself at an event. This is not me.
Wow. So I got to highlight for a second here, my man, Phil Gerbyshack in the comments saying seems to be 4 ball speakers. I demand a refund for false advertising and giving too much value. Love it.
Love you, man.
In all fairness, I've got 2 or 3 days worth of stubble here, so technically it's 3.
I don't know. You can see a little bit of mine, man. You can see a little bit of my stubble.
That'll be the next show. Next show will be 5 o'clock shadow of 3 bald guys, not 4 bald guys.
5 o'clock shadow on top.
There we go.
So
there we go.
I think it's gonna be, depending on how many guests that we have, it's 3 o'clock shadow, 4 o'clock shadow. So the more people we add, then
That's right. For Ramon, it's 4 o'clock. For me, it's 3 o'clock. I don't know where everybody else is.
I'm in Maryland, so Ramon and I are at the same time. Ramon and I are
2.
at the same
See,
time.
we got 3 time zones covered here.
Wow. Cool. So we've got about 7 or 8 minutes, fellas. So I think the last thing that we were looking to chat about was visibility this year. I think let's lean into Ramon's flywheel discussion for a second. So what are the
catch
things...
me up on that. I came in at the tail end of that. Someone give me like the 15-second on flywheel.
Yeah, Ramon's gonna do that. So I'll have him do that. We were talking about that was the beginning of the challenge conversation. So we were talking about using a challenge or using something as a way for growth, and he started to explain the concept of flywheel from Jim Collins. So go back to that, Ramon, please.
Sure. Yeah. But bottom line is, what are the things that you have the wheel that turns in your business consistently that helps it operate or make money? And the Nike example probably is best. I could be messing it up, but make an expensive shoe with high-end research, get that shoe signed on by a famous celebrity. Once you market that shoe at a high end, the price drops, and do it again. So what is it in your business simplistically? And you can have multiple flywheels though that you do over and over again. And then to riff, Robert, just to talk about visibility, I think for me, and it's interesting because we all have different types of businesses, how we make our money. But for me, the flywheel that I've seen very much is one, I'm the brand. I've been resisting that. Is it Smart Hustle is Ramon? But for this year, you're going to see me more all in Ramon. By God's grace, not arrogantly, but embracing what I've done. So that's one.
Yeah.
Doing a ton of video, a ton of Instagram, all this stuff that y'all understand, but people outside like, why is he doing all this? Which attracts my fan base, which I monetize to sponsors, and I do it again and again. So that's my flywheel and my visibility, a ton of content, because I only need a few large checks a year to live the life I want as of today, if that's helpful.
Right.
So it's the process from the beginning of a funnel or the beginning of some kind of, traffic generation for your business to, how do you, it's almost like, the content, how do you monetize maybe that content? And then from there, either how do you repurpose it or how do you, pick something else and start that circle, that flywheel all over again.
But Flywheel is not just marketing, but for Ramon, yes, just to be clear, Flywheel works in any industry.
Other things too. Yeah, it could be a new skill. Like if I'm at the gym trying to figure out how to do a muscle up or a handstand or something like that, and I knock that skill out, I can use that same process to do, inverted push-ups or handstands or something like that. It sounds like.
Right. So you talked about repurposing, Patrick. And that's like a huge thing, and maybe something that gets us caught because it feels like we're always creating new content, or we feel guilty about utilizing old content, and so we're literally creating, and then we get stuck because we're saying, my gosh, how many more things do I need to create? Right. So what tips or what tricks do you have for, are there automated ways to repurpose things?
I don't think that in my opinion, I don't think there are good automated ways. I think that's where having the good VA team, and any of us here will know that, man, getting a couple of good VAs on your team will change your life.
Yeah.
And about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I decided to hire a team out of Phoenix, Arizona, where my CRM is, where my speaker people are, and that team does like all my video work, and they're like repurposing kings, and they can do video editing better than I ever can. That's the good thing about a VA is finding someone who can do stuff so much better than I can. And I can just do something now. I can give them something like an hour-long Robert video now, and I can say, go to town, and they could create like 10 pieces of content from that. And I don't have to do it. I'm getting out of the way. Once they get out of the way of my repurposing, I noticed all of my numbers went up. And I had posted something on this on Facebook a while back that my podcast numbers went up once I stopped publishing the podcast.
Whoa.
Once I started speaking and I shut up and I gave them the video, because I always start with video and then go to podcast and everything else. Once I stopped publishing my own podcast, my numbers went up. And that's all the proof, I'll ever need is I'm a big numbers person. If the numbers work, you can't argue with the numbers. So repurposing, I would say, it's just a requirement in our world. If you're the kind of person that tries to do a YouTube show separate from a podcast, but you're a one or a two-man shop, you got to stop doing that. You really do, or hire it out.
Wow. What do you think, Frank?
I agree with what Patrick's saying with the repurpose, because also with the different social media formats, they all have this different DNA. As far as Instagram, obviously, if you have a 1-minute video, that works better than longer. TikTok's got 10 seconds. YouTube 3 to 5 minutes. So as Patrick was saying, if I shoot one video, I may put the full length on YouTube, but then I got to repurpose it. That might be 5 1-minute clips on Instagram. And then I might repurpose it again and pop it onto my website. And I might repurpose it again and turn it into my online coaching course.
Right.
But how I present it and how I edit it are going to be different ways based off of the audience, how they consume it. And then, as he says, you can't do it all yourself. You need somebody to make it look good. So you've got to get out there. And even like the people who I coach, especially speakers, and I compare it to musicians, we have to do video now. We have to get out there and be visible, because you're a speaker, but I never see anything of you speaking. It's just all these static pictures. That doesn't prove anything to me. That's like a musician saying, I'm a musician, but I don't hear their music anywhere. I don't see them sing anywhere. It's just a picture of them standing with a guitar. I'm like, then you're really good holding a guitar, but I don't know if you can play. So what Patrick is saying, we have to get, and Ramon's saying, we have to get it all out there, but then we have to package it the right way, repurpose it to make sure that consumers can get it in the way they want to consume it.
Wow. All right. Well, we're looking at landing the plane, gentlemen. So, I mean, we've covered quite a few topics here. We went from the transfer of power. We went to from like the New Year stuff.
I lost the power.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. We talked a little bit about the transition, Hopin buying Streamyard. We talked about all of that. We talked a little bit about challenges. We talked about Martin Luther King a bit. And so now we kind of landed on strategies for repurposing and creating visibility for yourself. So any closing words, anything that you want to share as we wrap here?
Just great to be here with you, Robert. Great. Thank you for leading us to this episode. Look forward to doing more and more and more. And thanks to Patrick for joining us as a guest. But thanks, it's been good.
Yeah.
I would say for anyone watching, pay attention to the energy of these other three gentlemen here. One of the things I've always found challenging at times, which I feed off of from Robert and Ramon and Frank, is energy. Because, man, there are just sometimes I do not feel like pulling the mic over from the side, or I do not like firing up the camera, I do not like turning on the lights. When I see these people with their energy, I just got to figure I got to keep up. I got to keep up with these guys.
Yeah. What about you, Frank? Go ahead, man.
You're in the land of Jay-Z. I know how it is, Ramon.
There we go. The big one for everybody watching is, everybody, yes, it's the end of January, but we still got 11 months to go. The year is not over. So for everybody, whether it be the goals, we've been talking about pretty much goals today, whatever that goal for the year is, guess what? We still got 11 months to do it. So keep pushing. I mean, this is just a case of recognizing, hey, you know what? I got to step it up. So that challenge piece, if you got to challenge yourself to step it up here in February, step it up again in March, and just keep pushing towards the end, go for it, because it's only January, people. We got 11 months to go.
Love it. Gentlemen, listen, it's been awesome hanging out with y'all. I've loved just the smooth transitions and the way that everybody has just contributed to this. Those of you that are listening, those of you that are on YouTube, those of you that are on Facebook, those of you that are on LinkedIn, I hope you found value in this conversation today. Enough value that you're going to join us again, and maybe instead of it being 3 ball speakers, we might have 4. My man Terry Brock was in the comments. That's another ball speaker.
Down there.
So maybe we'll have 5. My man Sean Doc Rock Boyd is in the comments, another bald gentleman. So we'll be back again in a couple of weeks, 3 ball speakers. We'll see what we can put together for you. We'll talk a little bit again about life, laughter, and lollipops. We'll see you.